Good morning, world. I am Judy, your web-based therapist, making therapy accessible and convenient for our clients in Florida and New York, and of course, sharing information worldwide. So today we have a completely unscheduled, unplanned, but we're still live. I've done a couple of these live sessions where we talk about mental health, and since I didn't have anything else planned, I didn't have any other live sessions planned this week. I thought, today might be a good day to do a random whatever is happening live Q&A on whatever is happening. So that's what we're doing today. I see we have a couple people trickling in. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. So as I said, I didn't really have a plan. I didn't really have anything that I said, hey, I really want to discuss this. I really want to discuss that. So today is really just chatting about whatever. So if you're here, you have a question, you have a thought, you have a whatever, please just ask, because that's what today is about, just having a mental health conversation. We know, again, I think a couple weeks ago, I talked about seasonal affective disorder, which is a winter, also known as winter depression or SAD, which is something that happens that people experience during the winter months. And of course, we know that this year's seasonal affective disorder is colliding with pandemic depression, which is going to be crazy, kind of. So we've been talking about how people, or what people can do to help them plan, to help them be better, be more ready for it, because it's happening whether we're ready for it or not, whether we know what to do or not. It's going to be happening. So today I wanted to talk about just what people are doing, what people can do, that kind of stuff. One of the first things that life affirming activities. For me, that's a huge thing. If you've watched my videos, you know that I talk a lot about life affirming activities, because that, for me, is one of the most important things that a person can do for their mental health. That's the kind of stuff, those are the things that you do to help you stay focused, to help you stay positive, to remind you that life is still awesome, because there are so many things that are happening, especially right now that we have this situation going on with the pandemic. So it's important that we are still putting in those things that remind us that, hey, regardless of what is going on out there, life is still great. There's still a lot of good things, a lot of good reasons, a lot of good things to look forward to, a lot of good things to enjoy in life. So life affirming activities is probably one of the most important things that you can do for yourself. With life affirming activities, one thing I often talk about, hi, I see a couple more people have joined us. So hello. If you have questions, please ask. I welcome and encourage questions, because it makes it feel more like a conversation and less like I'm talking to myself. So, but I often tell people that it's important, it's good, if you can, have a list of your go-to things that you do. Oh, I didn't check to make sure. Oh, my mic is way over there. I really hope you've been hearing me, because today I did not check, and it looks like my mic was way over there. I hope you heard what I was saying. But yes, so life affirming activities is one of the most important things that you can do to help you remember how great life is, to help you remember the reasons we do what we do, the reasons we keep pushing through, the reasons it's important to keep engaging and stay motivated with life. So, and people often, whenever I mention life affirming activities, sometimes people will mention how finances and things like that can get in the way. The thing with life affirming activities is that they don't necessarily have to be some very expensive, you don't have to go to the spa every week. That's not what life affirming activities is. Life affirming activities is anything that you can do that reminds you that, hey, life is awesome. Hey, even though there are bad things that are going on, life is still great. So those are the types of things that it's important for people to remember. It's not just, you know, going to the spa. It's not just going to the life affirming activities don't have to cost money. They don't have to cost a lot, and they don't even have to cost anything at all. Hey friend, how are you? Yeah, so it's anything that any life affirming activities are anything that you do that you enjoy that make you feel alive. Yes. I could not get my hair twisted this weekend. So for now, my hair is in. This is what we're doing this week, and we're showing all my cineus grays. This is what is it? A genetic trait. At some point, all my hair is going to be gray. So yes, we're showing all my cineus grays. Actually, I think on my grandfather's side too. But anyways, friend, do you have any questions, any thoughts, yeah, we're just talking random mental health today. We don't have a specific topic to cover. We're just talking about mental health. So if you have any questions, definitely. The other thing I want to say about life affirming activities is that I like having a list. A list is a go-to list. That's kind of like those things that you have, because more often than not, when we need life affirming activities, we're not exactly in the best space. We're not exactly the most motivated to go, hey, what can I do? What do I need to look for? So the energy, the willingness to look for it is really not there, which is why having a list is good. So when you have a list, you can just, hey, you know what? I'm struggling with this, that, and the other. Let me look through my list. What can I do for fun? What can I do? What would I enjoy right now? And you look at your list and you're like, okay, you know what? I haven't done this in a while, so let me do this. So that's really because I have people do lists. Because if you don't have the list, what happens is you start thinking of, oh, I'd like to do this, or I'd like to do something, or what can I do? What is available? What is there? What is near? And by the time you get through the process, you forget, or you get discouraged, or you lose track of where you were and you don't do anything. But if you have a list of things, a list of go-to things that are available and accessible, then it makes it easier that when something's going on, you jump to it. What else do I want to see about life affirming activities? It's good to have different categories. I mentioned how it's important that they don't necessarily have to cost money, but you can have things that involve people, things that don't involve other people, things that you do for instance, I like nature. So one of my life affirming activities is always going to be, hey, go to the park, go for a walk, go take pictures somewhere. But if you're a people person, some of your life affirming activities may involve hanging out with friends or going to an event with friends, doing certain things. So just pick a couple of different categories, because for instance, I like going for walks, but being that I live in Florida, walks are not always an option because a lot of times it's raining. So I need to have a backup. What if I can't go for a walk? What can I do to still be able to get the same level of interaction, to get that same refueling, that same positive energy flowing back when going for a walk is not an option? What else can I share about life affirming activities? If your life affirming activities involve other people, it's important to ask them. I always talk to people about having a support network. Having a support network is one of the most important things that you can do for your mental health. However, sometimes people will kind of unofficially put people in their support networks, meaning that you consider me a part of your support network. However, I don't know this. So when you need something and I don't know that this is a need, I may I may say no. You may say, hey, do you feel like doing XYZ? And I'm like, oh, no, I'd rather not. But this is a need for you. But when a person knows that they are a part of your support network, this is the role that you need them to play in your support network. Yes, friend, support networks is super important. When people know that they are a part of your support network, they also understand that when you're reaching out, this is something that, like, hey, this is a need. You're actually reaching out. You need something. So because of that, I like to encourage people, when you are picking your support network, it's important, one, that your support network is includes people or resources that you have access to. And I say resources because sometimes it may be you may be one of those people who get energy, who get that zen from reading certain inspirational books. You may be that person who gets, well, well, you know what, friend? I could be in your support network as long as I know, as long as I know that I am a part of your support network. That is one of the important things, because if the person is in your support network and they don't know, they don't always know that, hey, this is a need. If you call me and say, hey, Judy, can you talk? And I say, oh, you know what? I'm in the middle of something. And for me, when I say I'm in the middle of something, I may just be in the middle of something that can stop when in case of a need, but that is important enough that I don't want to just stop just because. So those are the reasons. Make sure that whoever it is someone that you have access to. You can't put, you know, how, I know Oprah was one, I don't know if she still is. Sorry, please, Oprah fan, please do not come after me. I do not mean any disrespect to Oprah, but I don't. At one point, Oprah was really that big, what do you call it? Super Soul Sunday and all that stuff. So a lot of people had Oprah and Oprah's resources and books and stuff as part of their go-to things that they do that help them. However, you can't call Oprah and when you're having a bad day. So Oprah may be Oprah's products may be a resource that you can use, but Oprah, the person, cannot be part of your support network. Your support network needs to have people that you can get on the phone and call that person, people that you can reach out and say, hey, can you help me with this? Hey, can you, I'm struggling. And that's one of the reasons you need to tell people that they are a part of your support network. Because if you're struggling and I don't know that, I don't know that you need me. I don't know that it's how important it is that I stop what I'm doing to have a conversation. But there are resources that you can use sometimes that are not people. And those would be things like your books, like in inspirational talks. There's a gazillion of them on YouTube. Talks by every different person you can think of. Talks, books. There are so many different books that you can find. Those are great ways to find inspiration. They are great ways to find a little bit of motivation, but they are no substitute for the actual human connection of a support network. Because while people read motivational books, people read the Bible and other religious texts or spiritual texts that they get motivation, they get inspiration from, but those do not necessarily count, or those do not replace, I should say, the human part of it. So it's important to have those books. It's important to have those resources. It's important to have those things that you can go to, because you know what? Sometimes it's 3:00 in the morning. Yes, podcasts. Yes, thank you. Podcasts are also there are a lot of especially now, there are so many different options. Like, yes, like Francisca mentioned, podcasts are big right now. So a lot of people listen to them, especially while you're driving, while you're out and about. Podcasts, books, sermons, your spiritual or religious texts. Those are great ways to find motivations. Those are great ways to find inspiration. So make sure you have when you see them, keep the note them, keep them, start a playlist, start a something, so that it's not when you're in the middle of something or when you're struggling that you try to figure out, oh, okay, what can I listen to? What do I, when you, for example, just yesterday, I just happened to be online and I went on Twitter and someone mentioned someone shared a quote from a song. Let me see if I could find it. It was actually really good. It was a good one too. I'm gonna go, let's see. I'm gonna see if I could find it right now. Yeah, she shared and I just thought it was, oh, this is pretty cool. So I actually responded to it. Oh, okay. I'm pulling up the whole conversation. So what it said was, never doubt that you're the one and you can have your dream. This was a completely unrelated conversation. I think they have this they have some type of movie night, and this conversation was part of it. And I actually liked the quote so much that I was like, oh, I need to keep this. And it turned out it was part of a song, and the song is "You're the Best Around" by Joe Esposito. So now, when I found that, she sent me the link to the song, and I listened to it, and I'm like, oh, this is a pretty good song. It's very inspiring, and I thought, hey, this could be a good song for my morning, my morning playlist. So I save it. That way it's not one of these days when I wake up and I'm struggling and I'm not having the easiest time getting out of bed that I'm trying to figure out, oh, what was that song again? Because when I have it, it's already there. And when I need it, I don't have to look for it. So that's one of the reasons I tell people how great it is to have playlists. Well, since I started talking about that, let me share with you one of the things that I like doing that helps me. In the morning, when I wake up, I like waking up with music sometimes. And I have a list of a couple of different songs that I will listen to. Right now, it's been 2 songs that have been actually, they've been I think it's been maybe a year, or for the last couple of years. It's really gone down to 2 songs that are part of my morning playlist. And that's one of those things that I do. It's like, it gives me inspiration. For one of them, the first one is, what's the thing called? I listen to the song all the time. I believe the the singer is YOLO. Ain't no stopping sunshine. I love the song. I heard it on that movie. I believe it was Deliver Us from Eva was the first time I heard that song, and I was like, oh, I like this song. So I added it to part of my morning routine. Another song that I added after that was it's Merci la Vie by Emeline Michel. It's a song of gratitude, just being, yeah. And I will listen. Sometimes I'll go to the beach and I'll listen to the song, just like as I'm walking in the morning, or actually in the morning, I'm lazy. I just sit as I'm sitting on the beach in the morning, just watching the sunrise. Oh, just listen to the song. So those are things that I do that helps me wake up and be in that positive space. And I've shared it with other people, and they've tried it, and it seems to work for other people too. So, hey, it may be worth trying. Especially right now when there's so much going on and there's so much stress happening and so much 2020 happening. So any questions? I see there are a few people out there. Do you guys have any questions, any thoughts, any things you'd like me to address that's mental health related? I know I've been talking for a good minute. No, nothing? Okay. So in the winter, mental health is usually a lot more challenging. I know I talked about the seasonal affective disorder, or a sad season that's coming up, or that we're technically in sad season right now. because once you have the time change and it starts to get darker earlier, the symptoms start presenting. One of the things that I mentioned before is the fact that because sad season is colliding, sad season is colliding with the pandemic, and the pandemic already was impacting or increasing the amount of depression. We're going to have an interesting winter. So those would be a good time. I am not even sure what okay. I dropped the glasses, so I have no idea what she just said. Excuse me. Okay, I needed to do this just right quick. Talk about emotional libel. What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean when you say talk about it. But okay. Fran, what do you mean? I don't I'm not sure what do you call it? I'm not sure I get what you're asking. Are we referring to what happened? Are we referring to what happens with people when people are experiencing anxiety? Or okay, so here's the thing. Right now, one of the things that we can look to is that because we're in this weird space, many people are going to be experiencing different things that they're not used to. And because of that is like, that's just one of those things that I had to stop and collect my thoughts. Because of the way things are right now, it's gonna be a different year. It's gonna be a different winter. So a lot of different symptoms are going to take place. And yes, that rapid change in emotion, where it's like sometimes it's an emotional yo-yo is more what I would call it, where you can be okay one moment and the next thing you know, you're in this, yes, you're having a crying episode, or you're in this super low funky depression that happens and you have no idea what it is. The first thing that people need to remember is it's okay. It's okay. It's absolutely okay. And it's not just I know Fran mentioned the crying episodes as one example of the emotional libel, but it's not even libel. I'm not even saying the word right. But the other thing, it can be a lot of different things. It can be a lot of different random emotions that come over you, and most people will try to push it away or will try to stuff it away. Here's the thing: the more you try to fight it, the harder it comes. The more you try to push it away, the more you're focused on it. What I generally try to tell people to do is take the time and feel the feeling. Take the time and go through whatever is happening, go through it, let it happen, let it work its way out of your body. Because while you're sitting there focusing on, hey, I need to make this go away, hey, I need to make this stop, your focus is on whatever is happening. You wake up, or you're sitting there, you were just fine at work, and next thing you know, you start crying for no reason and you can't make it stop. Instead of trying to make it stop, work through it. Give yourself the opportunity. Hey, go back, go to your office, go to the bathroom. And if it starts in the middle of the conference room, let it just get to a comfortable place and let it happen. We cannot live our lives trying to avoid being human. because other people may not be comfortable with it. We cannot live our lives trying to bypass or step away from what other people may think. Taking the time and just accepting it, because that's one of the biggest things that usually happens, is that a person starts experiencing those emotions. A person starts getting into one of these episodes and they get so concerned with what other people will think, what other people will see, that it magnifies the emotion. You start get sometimes crying is probably one of the ones that people are more likely to notice, but there are other mood shifts that happen that may not be as noticeable to other people. That a sudden funk is one of them, or snappiness, getting like losing it emotionally, just losing it. Those are things that could happen, and when you start focusing on trying to make it stop, you magnify it, you make it worse, because then not only are you dealing with whatever is already going on, you're also now dealing with being angry at yourself, being upset at yourself for this happening. That's one of the worst. That's one of the things that makes it worse, because now you're emotionally in a state, and on top of being in that emotional state, you're emotionally badgering yourself for being in this emotional state. So instead, just let it happen. There are things we can do in mornings are the best ways to prepare yourself for the day. Taking the time to wake up well, taking the time to wake up in a good space, taking the time to start your day in a good space is very helpful in helping you manage the day. This means making sure that you went to bed at a reasonable time so that you can have enough sleep so that you can wake up and be good. Making sure that you feed your body. I can't say this enough. Feeding your body the right fuel so that your body can carry you through the day. Doing those little things go a very, very long way. So make sure that you're doing those things. Getting that exercise. If you could wake up in addition, maybe 10 minutes earlier than you need to. If you could wake up maybe 5 minutes earlier than you absolutely need to, so that before you start your day, or you can start your day with a little bit of exercise, maybe a 5-minute yoga, or 5 minutes of stretching, 5 minutes of anything physical that you can do to just get your body moving. That helps a whole lot. People underestimate the value of exercise, but it is one of the best things you can do for your body. And the stretching, stretching is one of the easiest, one of the simplest forms of exercise that you can do. And 5 or 10 minutes of breathing. Yes, breathing. I keep forgetting to mention breathing is also super important. Getting that oxygen flowing through your body is probably one of the, everything I say it's probably one of the most important things that you can do, but that's because I guess I believe they're all important. But taking some time and just breathe and just regulate your breath, your breathing, regulate your senses. 5 minutes of deep breathing, maybe in the car as you're driving, or when you get to work before you start driving. Take a few minutes and just do that kind of stuff. The crying spells, they are frustrating. One of the things in the moment that you can do is work on regulating your breathing. And that is one of the things that you can do in the moment. That, of course, is in addition to stop telling yourself to stop crying. If you ever have seen a child or a baby who is crying and then the adults say, stop crying, that baby cries more, because now you have the baby focused on, hey, crying. Don't focus on telling yourself to stop crying. Focus on calming yourself. Focus on getting back to center. So things like working on breathing, just taking a moment to calm yourself, walking away from whomever any are, or a louder or a more populated surrounding is going to be helpful, because when you're away from other people, it takes off the pressure of having to stop it because other people are looking. So get to a private space. And when I say get to a private space, I'm not saying get to a private space because it's because there's anything shameful, that there's anything to be embarrassed about. I'm saying get to a private space because it takes away that pressure. If you start having an emotional reaction and other people are there, your goal is not dealing with your emotional reaction. Your goal is to deal with what everyone else is seeing. So the pressure to address the needs of other people starts to supersede what is happening with you. So if you can get yourself to a private space, then that will help mitigate some of the pressure. If you're in your private office and you're sitting there bawling out, then you can focus on, hey, what's going on with me? Why am I bawling out? As opposed to, hey, what do you call it? As opposed to, hey, I need to stop crying because these people are looking at me crying. And that's my thing for any, what do you call it? Any type of stressful situation that you're dealing with. The goal, my thought would be, hey, first get to a private space. That way your focus can be on what's happening as opposed to what other people are saying. What else do we need to talk about? Because, hey, it's been 30 minutes. Okay, somebody is calling me. I don't know why, but hey, they're calling me. I should answer, right? Nah. It's probably, you know what? It's probably a telemarketer, and those calls are sometimes fun. Let's see. What else do I, any other questions, any other thoughts, any other questions that we can talk about? So during the pandemic, or normally during this type of winter season, winter depression type of, okay, my computer's saying it's gonna die, and I don't. Okay. I believe I plugged in my computer, but it's telling me that it's not plugged in. Okay, so if I suddenly jump off, that's because my computer died. During winter season, one of the things I always tell people to do is try to get with other people, try to get out. And as we get into this space, this pandemic space, where we're seeing that a lot of people are not, or a lot of things are going to be closing again, it seems, and when we don't know where things are going. One of the things that I encourage people to do now, or when it's available, is kind of build. Meaning, like, one of the things, if you're somewhere and there's access to sun, kind of get a little extra. If you're if you can get outdoors, try to get outdoors, try to get as much stuff done now, but as opposed to try to spread that out. Most people will say, yeah, I'll go once a week. So if your plan is to go for a walk once a week as the winter progresses, try to see if you can go twice right now, because we don't know what's going to happen. Just try to build a little bit of reserves. The other thing I often tell people to do is go out or meet with other people, hang out with other people, spend time with other people, to just get that energy, get the, just get that positive energy from other people. Right now, it's limited. Start getting creative. I know that over the last few months, people have been doing things like Zoom happy hours, and I've seen invitation for Zoom luncheons and Zoom breakfast and Zoom this and Zoom that. I know we have Zoom fatigue, and I know that is an actual thing. But one of the things that would help right now, that will help over the course of the winter, is to find ways to connect with other people. We have a tendency to be so busy that we don't get to spend time, that we don't get to engage. Make time, schedule that time, because when we don't schedule it, it feels like life is going on normally. But what's happening is, it's kind of like when your car is about to run out of gas, it's still running. Your car, you were on full at one point, and then you start using up that gas. Now you're down to 3/4, and you're down to a half tank, and then you're down to a quarter tank. Your car is still running. So it feels, or it looks like everything is normal. It looks like nothing has changed, but something has changed. The level of fuel in your car has been going down. So if you're not stopping to refuel, at some point the car crunks out and it stops. Don't wait until you get to that spot of where things clunk out. If you're experiencing, if you're going on about your everyday life, you're busy. I get it. We're all busy. Fine. Make the time. There's not going to, no one has an extra, what do you call it? No one has an extra storage of, or an extra reserve of time. No one's getting any more than this 168 hours that we all get every week. It's important that you're allocating some of your hours to what is important for you. So this means making times so that you're, what do you call it? This means making time so that you're having regular conversations with people. It's not just text. Text does not check. I am a little bit old school. I am aware of that. However, text is not exactly the emotional, doesn't give you the emotional connection. Make time, like plan on a few people that you want to talk to and reach out to them through the course of, I don't know, every week, every couple weeks. Plan on who you want to talk, plan on reaching out to some people. Hey, Zoom happy hours. Maybe you've been on Zoom all day and you don't feel like being on Zoom another hour. But what if you and a friend cook together virtually? What if you and some family member, you and your siblings have a cook-off or have a whatever? Plan those things, because they're not going to magically happen by themselves. They're not going to suddenly decide, hey, this looks like you have an extra day or you have an extra 2 hours. Why don't I? No, it's only when you plan them that they're going to happen. And if you wait until you get to the point where you're on empty, it's a lot harder to do. It's a lot harder to get up and make the decision and plan and reach out and talk to friends and family about stuff when you're already not in a good place. Because when you're in a good place, you really don't feel like talking to people to begin with. So trying to talk to people when you're already in that space, it just doesn't happen. So best thing to do, stop it or keep it from happening, meaning plan it, doing it as you're going along so that you don't ever get to that space. Any questions, any thoughts, any issues, anything you want to talk about? Because I've been lecturing, it feels like. Oh, while you're here, if you're here, please take a moment, and if you're not already subscribed, please take a moment and subscribe, and be sure to like this, or hit the like button, or hit the thumbs up, or whatever it is. Any questions, any thoughts, anything? No. Let's see. What other things do I want to address today? I was looking for I'm hoping for questions. I'm trying to look in the chat to see if I have any. I was hoping for questions, but the other thing to talk about is we've really been on this social media thing for It's here. Yes, we one of the things that many of us are currently dealing with is the fact that we're going to be distant from, or we're going to have a holiday away from family and friends. Many of us are not going, and I recently was looking on the news and where we were saying, and they were talking about how um, many people are not going to be traveling for the holidays as they normally do. And I'll just say I was on the, before I got on a plane, everyone was saying, oh yes, recent study shows the being on a plane is safe, being on a plane is this. And then I got on the plane, and as soon as I got off, I see it's not Sanjay Gupta, but a different Dr. Gupta who was saying, yeah, don't get on planes. And I'm like, where were you last week? But a lot of people are not going to be going to the family and the friends. And one thing we do, I mean, I know I'm one of those where I say, yeah, I do social media as a way to stay connected to family and friends that are not nearby. But um, that does not substitute for actual conversation, for actually connecting with people. If we're going to not be going home, if we're going to not be having those conversations we normally have with our friends and family, it's important that we're making a point to reach out and connect to those people. Because as much as you get to see, maybe you see pictures, you talk to people, you comment on each other's pictures and things like that, it does not substitute from what we're missing. So make it a point to reach out, make it a point to connect. And I know I talked about the Zoom calls or Zoom whatever's as a way to have human interaction. It's a good way to have that family conversation or that family togetherness. Maybe instead, since we can't all be at grandma's for Thanksgiving dinner, maybe we have a Zoom meeting where we all have our Thanksgiving sort of together. Yeah, but just make sure that you're taking the time to replenish or put something in place to make up for what we're missing, because that is going to be a huge one this year. Because one of the things that many people look forward to is being able to see their family. I know I recently got to see, last week, I got to see a bunch of members of my family that I hadn't seen for, it's been a while. And I got something from it. It was refueling. It was rejuvenating. It was important to me that I got to hang out with them. I got to hang out with the younger ones, with the older ones. It was important to me. So find ways to make sure that you're keeping or you are getting some of that connection. So that connection to people you care about, people who mean a lot to you. So find ways to make sure that is happening, even if you're not able to fly or drive to wherever it is that your family normally is, that wherever you guys normally do your holidays, even if you're not able to get there, make sure that you're finding ways to get a little bit of family togetherness happening. And yeah, I think that's about all I have. I can't think of any. Are there any questions? Are there any questions, concerns, thoughts? I see we have a few people out there. So hello, quiet people who are not talking. Let's see. What else do I have? No, nothing in the chat. So last minute thoughts that I would have. Oh, so because we are going to be in so much, a lot of people, a lot of times when we're home, when we're not going anywhere, enjoy a little bit of liquid fun. Or it's only liquid courage when you need it to do stuff, right? So liquid fun. It's good. It's fine. As adults, you can partake, you can drink as adults, you get to drink all you want. You get to have all the liquid fun that you'd like. However, it's important to remember that alcohol is a depressant. So let's try to avoid drinking our sorrows away. Because as we're missing a lot of things, as we're experiencing a lot more anxiety than normal, as many people will be experiencing a lot more stress than usual, the tendency to try to drink it away or try to numb it away with a drink or two will be there. But it's important to keep in mind that whatever you're trying to drink away will be there when you sober up, along with the fact that you'll be a little bit lower, or you may be a little bit lower when you sober up. And of course, if you are the one of those who act up when you're a little bit more, when you have that little liquid courage, whatever the consequences or the aftermath of whatever you did will still be there. So as much as possible, try to focus on being more active, being more purposeful, being more intentional in how you deal with what you're missing and how you deal with what is going on with you, so that you're not having to rely on substances to fuel or to help you to mitigate what is going on with you. So meaning that instead of trying to have that third or fourth glass of wine because you're feeling stressed or because you're feeling sad that you're missing your family, reach out to someone in your family and talk to your family. Instead of drinking because you couldn't go home, bring something into your current environment that represents or reminds you of home, that helps bring home to where you are, as opposed to try to drink it away. Because it does not matter how many bottles of wine you drink for Thanksgiving, you may still if your issue is that you're not home for Thanksgiving, you will still not be home for Thanksgiving, except you'll not be home with a probably major headache and there's no grandma or mom to help make you tea or whatever they make for hangovers. So be more intentional to, instead of trying to numb it away, focus on addressing whatever the issue is. Anything else? Let's see. What else do I want to address? I think that's about it. Questions, concerns, thoughts. I see we have a few people out there. Hi to people that are out there. If you have any questions, I don't necessarily have a specific topic I wanted to talk about today. It was just random mental health chats. So if you have any random mental health questions, I'm happy to, let's talk about them. I have a couple minutes. Let's see. Okay. I don't think I have anything else I want to talk about. So, no. Well, since there are no other questions and I have addressed everything I wanted to address, I think I'm going to get ready and call it a day. So thank you guys. As always, thank you, Fran, for engaging, and everyone else who's hung out with me for the last hour. I want to say thank you for coming through and hanging out. See a couple people like the chat. If you're still here, see a few people are still here. So please take a moment and give it a thumbs up and share. And yeah, that's about it. All right. Good morning, world. Have an awesome day.